when people are in the process of trying to figure out what their home is worth, what they could get out of it, they're just at a beginning stage, whether that's like beginning at level 1 or beginning at level 4. For everybody, it's different, right? Maybe they're not quite ready to hire a realtor, but they're just curious, they're making plans, they're dreaming in their head. But it's super important to engage with all of them and keep leaving them seeds. You throw seeds in the ground and you wait for them to grow, and this is similar.
Jen, thank you so much for joining me. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Doing great, and always lovely to see you. I'm super excited, and I know you can tell, but I'm really excited because we've been having a few conversations in the last 7 days. It was such a surprise when you reached back out, right? I think I sent you maybe an email before. We were having conversations, and yesterday we did something that I'm very happy that we did. I'm incredibly proud that you took the leads by the reins. We did a database reactivation. You called some people. You were screening through text messages. And I want people, Jen, anybody that might be seeing this in the future, anybody that might be in your shoes, right? Or maybe they were in the shoes that you were in a year ago. I want them to have someone as valuable as you share your experience, right? And if I may, Jen, I want to know this. Before you initially signed up to Meskula, what was going on in your life? What was going on in business? Because I know you weren't in real estate. What can you walk us through that? What was happening before you initially joined Meskula?
Yeah, so I worked for a newspaper company in advertising and marketing. I already knew sales, but I didn't know necessarily real estate sales. And then when I transitioned into real estate, I came to understand that leads are not given to you like they were in my other role. So I kept hearing sphere of influence. And I mean, to me, I didn't really know what that meant. Everybody I knew knows someone who's a realtor because there's so many of them. So I decided I needed to make an investment and give myself the opportunity. And so I chose Meskula and signed up for the 6 months to see. I guess I was really just looking to see what is this program going to teach me. And I kind of took a backseat approach to kind of watch how it worked and let it do its thing and then pick up with interested parties when they were there.
Good. I think it's something that a lot of people, well, I've seen it with people that are transitioning from one industry to real estate, right? It's a little different. And sometimes it's necessary for us to take that backseat approach that you were just talking about, right? What are other people doing? What's the system doing? And there's tons of things that it can feel overwhelming sometimes, right? Now, Jen, the whole purpose of this, again, just like I mentioned just a minute ago, people that might have been in your shoes at one point, maybe someone's transitioning from an industry and they're coming into real estate, these initial 6 months, because you're incredibly special, because we're not talking within our initial 6 months, we're talking about a year later, after these initial 6 months that you had. Why don't you go ahead and share what happened from your point of view? You were with us for a total of 6 months, right? What was your thought process during these 6 months, and then we'll dive into what happened after.
So during the 6 months, I realized that one, I needed to get some experience going into some of these in-home appointments. Felt a little intimidating, and I needed some experience. So I did miss out on 2 opportunities, but I decided to learn from my mistakes and do better follow-up. And 2, I thought that the majority of the calls coming in were basically just tire kickers, and I really didn't understand the value of what was being given to me at that time. So that's why I just kind of let the system do its thing, and I would think I'd pick up when there was a lead that seemed hot. Yeah.
Okay, you mentioned just a couple of very interesting things. The first one is, right, you would pick up on these leads when you felt like they were hot, right? What does that mean? What's a hot lead? What did you interpret as a hot lead?
Somebody who was saying yes and willing to go to that next step and have me come out and do a home evaluation. I would interpret that as a hot lead.
Okay, and has your definition changed at all, or
Yep.
is it? Nope. How so?
Because what I didn't understand at the time was like sales previous was like a month or 2, where in real estate sales cycle could be a year it could be longer. And I didn't really understand that at the time. When people are in the process of trying to figure out what their home is worth, what they could get out of it, they're just at a beginning stage, whether that's like beginning at level 1 or beginning at level 4. For everybody, it's different, right? Maybe they're not quite ready to hire a realtor, but they're just curious, they're making plans, they're dreaming in their head. But it's super important to engage with all of them and keep leaving them seeds. You throw seeds in
Yes.
the ground and you wait for them to grow, and this is similar.
Yes, exactly. Totally, totally that. And just the other thing, because I don't want to miss this. You said you missed a couple of opportunities. It's
Yeah.
happened to me, and I know it's happened to tons of different people. I called someone, we had a great call, call me in a few months, and they come on over, right? And I'll let them be, because I'm a kind person and I don't want to bug anybody. Did that happen to you? Did someone list? What happened with these couple of missed opportunities?
So the first one, I met with the wife. I should have pushed a little harder to meet with her and her husband. They were moving out of province, so I talked to them about their home. I reassured her I could list it. And then I let her know if she was interested, I could get her in touch with a realtor out of province to help with the sale on the other end. But I didn't actually get her in touch with someone. And then I
Okay.
found out, I think it was about 3 weeks later, that she had actually just listed with another realtor. And when I asked her why, and I asked her for some feedback, she said because the other realtor got her in touch with someone
Oh
from
my goodness.
from the other province. And in my head, I was thinking, well, I offered, but I
Hmm.
realized she had made the comment. I should have just given her some individuals and said, here's who I recommend, some other Royal LePagers, and actually gave her that value instead of waiting for her to message me back and saying, yes, I'd like this.
Jen, I don't know what's going on today. You're saying all the right words. You're talking about giving value. You're talking about taking feedback. And I think, at least for me, I've mentioned this to you in the past. I feel incredibly privileged to be able to just have this conversation with you, right? In past conversations that we've had. But the reason why I'm really, really genuinely excited is because of this click. It's tough. It took me years, and I thought I was a fast learner. It took me years to really understand what are we even doing with these conversations, and sometimes it feels really counterintuitive. Are your conversations any different today than they were, let's say, a year ago? Like, are you talking to people differently?
I think I'm more relaxed when I talk to people now. I don't necessarily expect a yes the first time I talk to somebody, but I definitely am building on relationship and building on
Hmm.
value with them. One
Hmm.
thing I did do was, like, when you gave me my list of database, I did keep a file, and every once in a while I would go back and look at those addresses. And then I started actually going through them line by line, and I realized how many of them actually did list. And it ended up being a whole year later, and that's when it clicked. Oh, they need nurturing. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's relationship building, it's staying in touch, it's offering a little bit of information, just touch points, right? And so,
Hmm. Right now, you're saying tons of dangerous phrases, right? Like nurturing people, and it takes time, and I should be a little more pushy, right? And I know that if I would have used those words or recommended anything like that a year ago to the Jen that I knew back then, she would have probably not taken up on all of those. Well, let's just call it tips, right, or piece of advice. But for people that might be in your shoes, again, just focusing on these people that maybe they're transitioning from a different industry, maybe they're coming into real estate as their first full time job. You share tons of valuable takeaways right now. Is there something that you think that if I had this piece of information when I first started, this would have totally set a different path for me to walk down? Do you have anything like that?
yeah, that would just be like, understand the whole sales process, what you're doing, that it does take time. And if,
Hmm.
it's the long game is really what you're in it for, it's not a quick thing. Real estate is not like quick return on the investment. Then I believe that I would have nurtured better and stayed connected better, and I wouldn't have allowed myself to, just engage once and then let it go. A no today
Yes.
is not a no forever.
Yes, and I think that specific thing, it sounds so simple. It's an incredibly complex thought to really wrap our minds around. Because I'm hearing no, and again, I know that you're in the same group of people, kind hearted people. I hear a no, and the first thing I want to do is I want to let everything go because, hey, I'm the last person that wants to make you uncomfortable. Now, how do you deal with that today, Jen? You hear a no, and you're saying a no doesn't mean no forever. What does that even mean? What do you mean?
Yeah, so like if they say I'm not interested right now, then that's fine and I respect that, but can I stay in touch? Can I help you in the future, keep you updated with market trends, what's going on, maybe interest rates, maybe it's a newsletter or the Loom video? That's pretty impressive.
Good. And yes, you know what? A lot of people, not just realtors, people in general, they think that a realtor's true value comes only the day when I need to put a sign in my yard and I need it to get sold, right? No, and you know this firsthand. There's a whole process. There's months of work, right? There's months of preparation. And it's not just with the home. A lot of times, what takes the most time to actually prepare is the homeowner, right? Their actual mindset or whatever they need to get in order. And us being people, there tends to be tons of different variables. And maybe my mom got sick, my kids are moving out, whatever happens in life, life gets messy. And us as realtors, I totally think, tell me what you think about this, but I totally think that it is our responsibility to help these people find clarity, right? Tons of times we're gonna come across people that, I got it, Jen. I got it. I'll reach out to you whenever I'm ready, right? And again, going back to I'm so kind, you're so kind, we want to be good people. That's fine, right? I'll take my foot off the gas right now. But we forget what you just mentioned, Jen. There's so many different touch points. Well, look, as you know, the real estate market is ever changing. Can I reach out every 3 months, every quarter, every 6 months, whatever you want to say, right? Whatever, I'm losing the word, whatever touch point we actually want to use for that time of year, we totally can. Because you mentioned another thing. We just did this yesterday, that Loom database reactivation. For anybody that might be seeing this, all this really means is we're sending out touch points. We sent out a video letting people know we're helping anybody that requested a home evaluation in 2024 or 2023, or we're helping anybody that might be getting ready for 2025 or 2026. And again, for the recording purposes, we sent it out to 250 people. Right? We got 50, you said 55 responses? 55, good. With this database reactivation, we usually see about 20% response rate. So good, I think we're just in line. And you were able to set up one in person so far? Yep.
2 in person and 1 phone call follow-up.
2 in person, 1 phone call follow-up, and you had a total of either 5 or 6 actual somewhat positive responses? Good. And I'm liking those numbers, right? At the end of the day, it sucks when things when something is a numbers game sometimes, right? Or it might feel like it sucks. But going back to the same thing when we were talking about nurturing leads, it's okay. I'm just gonna call some more. I'm just gonna have some more conversations. I'll just do it later. I'll do it again tomorrow if I need to, right? And just seeing this, Jen, having the chance to go through these situations, these scenarios that you went through firsthand, and I know tons of other people will continue to go through, right? Because it is still a process. Well, I'm just excited because I think that you're setting yourself up for tons of success, tons of business in 2025. And I know that we learn when leads slip through the cracks. We don't want that to happen again. So
Yeah.
Busy spring, busy summer. And I think that's about it. That was it. I got excited. I got a little carried away, but honestly, I love it, Jen, and I really appreciate the time that you spent with me right now. It was a pleasure. Thank you so much for sharing all the insight that you have. And I'll see you again next week on Thursday then. Okay. Thank you. All right. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll talk to you soon.
You too, bye.